Awesome. I got the poll ready. Maybe go on mute for now. You don't touch it. So weird. Never mind, don't touch it. And I think I can see participants as well now. So
yeah,
there's 4 attendees.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. We're going to get started in just 1 minute. We might just wait for a few more people to come in, but we'll start in just 1 minute. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to get started. So hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's PMC Office Hours. I'm Kaylin Neal, and I work on the channel marketing team in EMEA, helping enable our partners through PMC. And I'm excited to talk to you all today about GDPR and how ZIFT helps you be compliant with the regulation. I'm joined by my colleague Krishja, who many of you know, and she leads Atlassian's channel marketing enablement in EMEA. We also have an external person on the call, ZIFT Senior Channel Engagement Manager, Alexandra Georgescu. I hope I said that right. And she's gonna answer some of your GDPR related questions. If you do have questions throughout the brief presentation, you can use the Q&A feature to type in your question, and we'll be sure to answer it during the Q&A portion of this. Just so you know, this session is being recorded, and we're going to be launching a few polls. So look out for those and go ahead and answer those. So a quick agenda, we're going to first talk about GDPR. What is it, what's changed, and how to be compliant. Then we're going to run through how to make sure your contact lists are healthy in ZIFT and how to make sure everyone has opted in. Then we're going to pass it over to you for any questions. Alexandra from ZIFT is going to answer your GDPR related questions. But if you have any other PMC questions, those are welcome as well. Again, this office hours initiative is designed around answering all of your partner questions. So we're going to be allotting 20 to 25 minutes to Q&A. Great. So what is GDPR? Since its rollout in May 2018, GDPR has reshaped how data is processed and stored. GDPR was designed to harmonize data privacy laws across Europe, protect all EU citizens' data privacy, and reshape how organizations approach data privacy. So GDPR protects EU citizens' personal data online, meaning companies must protect protection for this data. This applies both to EU countries and data exported outside the EU. So some of the biggest changes include citizens' right to be forgotten, the right to access information about them, what information about them is being processed, where, and for what purpose, and explicit consent in intelligible, easy, accessible forms. Organizations in breach of GDPR can be fined up to 4% of annual global turnover or 20 million euro, whichever is greater. So ZIFT 123, which is where the platform we use for the Partner Marketing Center, automatically helps partners be GDPR compliant in a number of ways, and I'm going to run through those now. So the right to be forgotten. ZIFT provides a mechanism for individuals to request access to their personal information and how to have it removed. If a customer asks you for that, you need to contact support@ziftsolutions.com. Protected personal data. The new My Download section in the user profile of ZIFT protects personal data. Only logged in, identifiable users can access data. Personal data is never going out in emails. So ZIFT provides one-click unsubscribe links across all marketing emails, making it easy for individuals to manage their consent. Partners can identify users who have opted in for emails and send emails requesting that individuals confirm their opt-in status. We're also going to go over in a few slides the personal data capture forms across all landing pages, showcases, and social media posts, which can include messaging to gather personal data processing consent. So here you can see that ZIFT's certificate of assurance. You can also check out their privacy policy on the ZIFT platform, which is available both in English and German. And you can also request a signed copy of ZIFT Solutions Terms of Service on their website. Yeah. So the basic principle of permission is that you can only email people who have explicitly given you permission to contact them, and only about subjects that they have specifically agreed to. So we're going to dive into when you can email your contacts. So explicitly opted in with you online. Recipients opt in by clicking one or more subject-related checkboxes that were unselected by default. Co-registration on a partner's site is fine as long as there are separate opt-in options for each list and it's clear to users that they're subscribing to your list. Explicitly opted in with you offline. So the recipient completed your offline form or survey or participated in your contest and gave their express permission to be contacted by email about specific subjects. Again, this is opt-in, so all the checkboxes need to first be empty. Next, someone gave you their business card at an event. So the recipient makes it absolutely clear that they want to be added to a list with particular subject matter. We recommend an introductory message reminding them what they subscribe to and when. And lastly, they explicitly opted in for the subject you're contacting them about. We can't stress enough that when opting in, the nature of the mailings need to be made clear to the recipient. If a person requests product updates, you cannot then send them generic newsletters. So that's really important. It needs to be subject specific. So let's learn about when you cannot email contacts. Failure to ensure that your recipients explicitly granted you permission to contact them puts you at risk of GDPR noncompliance and also immediate termination of your ZIFT account. So first up is the email address is copied from the internet or another source. Just because someone published an email address online or in a directory doesn't mean that they've given permission to be added to your mailing list. Next, no email has been sent to the recipient in over 2 years. Permission granted does not mean permission forever. Email addresses obtained from a third party. If you purchased, rented, borrowed, or otherwise acquired a list from another party, even if it's an opt-in list, the recipients did not give their permission to hear from you specifically, so you do not have permission. And continuing on, the recipient is a customer but has not opted into your lists. So just because someone is your customer does not give you explicit permission to send them email marketing messages. They first need to opt in for the specific subject about which you are contacting them. Next, the email address is generic and used by several people. You cannot email to generic email addresses like sales@atlassian.com or info@domain.com because they're often role-based and the users of these addresses change frequently. The only exception to this rule would be if you knew the recipient and were sure that it was their permanent individual email address. And lastly, the email address is a distribution list or mailing list. You cannot send email to any address that forwards to more than one person because it's impossible to determine whether all recipients have given permission, and there's no way for them to unsubscribe individually. Next poll.
This is the first poll, actually.
Ooh, I can't read my screen. Could you just drag it to the left a little?
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't.
Just giving everybody some time to.
Could you, I can't write. Yeah, cool. Cool, we're just getting some results from a poll right now. Can you exit a bit? No, if you just, yeah.
Cool. Some technical problems here.
Eek. Sorry. Yeah, this isn't. Do you have the notes somewhere? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Great, so we're gonna go over some best practices for contact lists. So having a business relationship with an individual or business doesn't mean it's okay to add them to your mailing list. Creating and maintaining healthy contact lists is a vital part of email marketing. If you automatically add contacts, or if your sign up process is unclear, recipients may flag your email as spam. Spam complaints are the #1 influence on your reputation. It's in your best interest to do everything you can to avoid recipients clicking the spam button. So the first best practice is to get permission from the recipient to receive your message by sending an opt-in confirmation email. And we're going to go over that very soon about how you can launch that in the ZIFT platform. Next up, make your sign-up process clear. Explain what people are signing up for, when they'll start receiving emails, and how often they can expect to hear from you. We also suggest using a consistent sender name and email address. And lastly, do make it clear how to unsubscribe from a mailing. As we just discussed, ZIFT automatically adds unsubscribed links to all emails, so this one's pretty easy. So you can configure your account so that only contacts who have been marked as authorized will receive emails you send from ZIFT. This is the best practice for creating clean GDPR compliant mailing lists. To create a new list of contacts with global opt-in, you should navigate to Settings, Company Profile, Opt-in Authorization in the ZIFT platform. You'll click Opt-in Authorization is required for a contact to be sent an email. And then when you upload a new contact list, you'll be prompted to send an opt-in email to your new contacts. Contacts will be listed as pending until they respond. And from there, you can filter out sending emails to only authorized customers. If at a later time you add new contacts to this list, you can choose the Send Opt-in Confirmation Email to all new contacts listed in the file import. And it makes it really easy for them to opt in.
That's cool.
So this opt-in email, you guys can all personalize the opt-in confirmation email. So you can see here, you can add your partner logo, your value statement, and contact information. And you can customize this email in contact lists, opt-in confirmations, and confirmation email. And also when ZIFT prompts you, if you want to send an opt-in email, you can also just review that email there and customize it from there. So to ensure that GDPR data processing consent has been obtained on all personal data capture forms in ZIFT 123, you have two options. As seen on this slide, you can add a customized privacy consent checkbox, which you see there at the bottom. And that will capture data so that any new contact opts in to be permitted their data to be processed. That's the first option. Second option is if your form does not include a privacy consent checkbox, a pop-up module will display a confirmation message, again, as you can see here, the pop-up box. For this to happen though, the privacy consent option has to be turned on via ZIFT admin application settings. And we really recommend doing that just to make sure you're compliant at all times. Great. We're gonna kick off the Q&A. We have 3 kind of frequently asked questions. We get a lot just so we can dive into it. And Alexandra is gonna answer these questions for us, which is great, but please do type in with the Q&A feature on Zoom if you have any questions, and we'll get to those as well. And in the meantime, yes, please do answer the polls that were kind of popping up. Great, so the first frequently asked question is, how does GDPR affect my marketing strategy? Data plays a big part in marketing, as we all know, and our digital strategies. And yeah, Alexandra, if you want to jump in about how GDPR affects our partners' marketing strategies.
Yes, thank you. So actually, hearing from partners and seeing our strategy, we can say that GDPR will not affect your partner's marketing strategy if they are going to fulfill all the rules that and all the information that you've just provided them. So the idea is to have targeted lists to be GDPR compliant, as our platform is also, and then everything will be aligned to GDPR and to their strategy, so nothing will be affected.
Great, yeah, and I think it's quite clear that GDPR only affects citizens living in the EU, but we do recommend that companies that operate internationally ensure all of their global audience is GDPR compliant. So that's something else to keep in mind. Cool, so the next frequently asked question, what happens if I didn't do anything in May 2018 when the regulation was first rolled out?
You still have the possibility to do it now by sending out the opt-in email to partners, to contacts actually, to your partners, through your partners' contacts. This is very important of not sending out emails to customers that haven't opted in. For receiving emails from your partners. And of course, their customers do have the 3 possibilities, either to choose not to receive any information from that partner, or to receive all the information or only selected information. And then your partners are being able also to launch campaigns and emails only to the contacts who have been marked as authorized to receive communications, and only those customers will receive the emails sent out from ZIFT 123.
Great, and it's pretty easy, just as a follow-up, to see which partners sorry, not partners, which customers have been authorized to be contacted. That's right, isn't it, in the platform?
Yes, of course. They have all sort of filters, and they can see and select exactly the contacts that have been marked as authorized to receive communications from your partners.
Okay, perfect. And our third frequently asked question is, what will happen to EU data laws in the UK after Brexit?
So, to be honest, I'm not sure what to say about the data laws in the UK after Brexit, but for sure I can say that ZIFT will be aligned to it, and we will be having solutions for all your partners in order to be GDPR compliant with everything.
Yeah, I think the best practice here is just be GDPR compliant. We have,
Exactly.
of course, we have no idea about when Brexit will happen or what the consequences of data laws will be, but the best thing is just to be compliant. And hopefully, you know, our expectation is that any legislation in the UK will largely follow the GDPR.
Yes, and also ZIFT privacy policy and terms and conditions and everything will be up to date for your partners to be sure that they are seeing all the updated information, and that we as a platform will be updated and GDPR compliant for all the partners all over the world.
Great. Yeah, so that is the last of our frequently asked questions. So we are happy to open the floor now to partners. Please use the Q&A feature at the bottom, I believe, of your Zoom video, and you can just type in our questions and we'll get those so we can answer them. We have two channel specialists. Do you guys have any questions about GDPR from your partners?
No, not really. Nothing that was not covered already.
Great, yeah. We have another poll. Be great if you guys could answer. Yeah, please do send in questions. We know that, you know, email marketing is so important, and we really, you know, encourage our partners to use the email function in ZIFT on the Partner Marketing Center, and we don't want, you know, GDPR to be a blocker for any of our partners to sending out emails. So just the more understanding about GDPR and how to use your contact lists and make sure that they're healthy, the better. So any questions, please do.
You can also share some of the biggest blockers when it comes to, you know, contacting customers.
Yeah. All right. I guess no questions?
I'm not seeing any. Oh, there are two questions here.
Okay.
So we have a question from Anna. Can all email addresses left during app license purchase be used for support or product information emailing without opt-in email?
So what we also suggest, and especially for EMEA partners, is that you should never launch an email to somebody who has not opt-in. They don't have to. You don't have to have the opt-in only from sent out from the ZIFT platform, but if you know that you already have the okay from your customers that you can send out emails, that's okay. So you don't have to send out the opt-in email from the platform, but to be sure that you send out emails only if you have the approval from your customers to receive emails from you.
Yeah, so from the initial collection, I think the first thing you need to do is to actually send out an opt-in email, basically.
Yes, either through the platform or, of course, if they have done it before May 2018, yeah, when we knew that GDPR is coming.
Okay, so we have another question here. What about data masking? Is this a consideration for this area of GDPR?
So about data masking, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer for this question. What I can do is I will just have to ask first, and then we will come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can do that. We'll get some of the answer from Alexandra, and we can send that out to all of the people on the call right now in a follow-up email with that answer.
And the recording of this.
And the recording of this. Yes. Yeah, great. Thank you for your questions. Please, if you have any more questions, please do type those in and we'll attend to those.
Yeah, we just wanted to remind everyone that you can also type in questions that that relates to PMC, so not GDPR specific, because Office Hours is meant to be a platform for solution partners to actually engage with the channel marketing team from Atlassian. So any other question that you might have with regards to the campaigns that you wanted to run in PMC, feel free to add that in the Q&A section.
Otherwise, yeah, continue to type in questions, but here are a few links that were pretty handy. The EU GDPR has a lot of frequently asked questions and information about the key changes that occurred once GDPR was implemented in May 2018. So you can go to that website for a lot of information. You can email Krisha or me. And then lastly, ZIFT Academy is a really great resource, which you guys are all, you can all access. Go ahead and type in GDPR to the ZIFT Academy, and there's a lot of different articles and answers around GDPR, but also around how to whitelist your contact list, which we briefly went over, and make sure those contact lists are really healthy and that you're frequently going through to make sure that everyone is authorized to receive emails from you. If that's all, we're happy to announce we have another Office Hours in December. This is a monthly initiative. So this one's going to be on the 19th of December, and it's going to be around event best practices. So that will include promotion, timelines you should be working on, and how to follow up after a successful event to ensure prospective customers move down the funnel. We'll send through a registration email in the next week probably, but you can also use the registration link for this one to sign up for all of our monthly Office Hours, as it is recurring. So that you'll never miss a session and you can ask any and all PMC related questions. Yeah.
And if there's any topic that you wanted us to cover, feel free to suggest that as well. We're open to that. Again, this is meant to enable partners. So if there are any concerns or any other topics that you wanted us to cover, just send us an email.
Yeah, we're your resource, so we want to make sure that you make the most of PMC, and we're here to help you. So yeah, thank you. And thank you so much, Alexandra, for being on this call. I think it was really helpful. And so Alexandra works for ZIFT, which is the platform. So it's great to know that they're GDPR compliant.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
You can stop sharing.